For as long as I can remember, I've taken photographs in some sort of manner. I grew up in a background that was very creative driven. My dad was a graphic designer. He always had cameras, VHS, camcorders, things like that. So I kind of feel like there was always some sort of imagery being created or captured in some way, I guess. Now, I grew up in South Africa. I'm a very long way from home. I live in Northern Ireland now, in a seaside town called Bangor, and so much of what I've learned and built and created for myself professionally and personally has all been based, or at least started here. I came from a skateboard BMX background. That's kind of what I did when I was younger. I started mixed creative multimedia stuff, traditional TV, audio production, things like that. I really got into photography because of riding bikes. I wasn't that good at bike riding. I could ride, but I wasn't amazing. But my mates were really good. So I thought, if I take good photographs, at least I'm bringing something productive to the table rather than just being the mincer who's also on the bike. I started taking photos of them riding, shooting on film, 35mm, a little bit of medium format, shot a lot of black and white, developing my own film and things like that. It was really, really fun, but it was never more than just a hobby. I used to go out, ride the bike with them, take photographs, and then we had memories. That's kind of how I got into video. Everything started the same. I just picked up a camera and captured what was going on around me, and it was great. I loved it. At no point did I think I was doing this to make a living. Yeah, I sold a few photographs to BMX mags and stuff early on, but outside of that, it was just for the fun of it. Having been a graphic designer for about 14, 15 years, my wife used to ask me if I could do anything for a living, what would I do? And I was always like, I'd love it if people just paid me to take photos. Don't get me wrong, I love design. It's been a huge part of my life, but I was always just like, I love just taking photographs. It's so simple, so enjoyable, it's so personal to me, and I never thought I'd make a living from it. When I was in tech in college, we used to come down to Bangor. They used to send you on these like photo trips all the time. You had to go down with a bunch of you at some sort of theory and go and take photographs of stuff. I still see them now. And you always, like in uni and college, when you do that, you go to the shittest part of town. You go to like the obvious place. Things like forest parks or straight down to the beach. And everyone takes the same photos. And for years, I never really enjoyed that sort of shit. I was just like, I just want to take photos of guys riding bikes. Nothing else. Not interested in any other nonsense. Come on, fellas. Don't look at me, just drive your car. People are like, what is this dude doing? I mean, I know I look like a bell end. Not the point though. Rubbernecking. Why do you have to park in that bay? There's a million bays. Anyway, I used to hate that shit. I used to like everyone in like ducks in a row, everyone as a group, which is why I'd like avoid camera clubs and things like that over years. It was never really for me. One day, randomly, I just did something that I didn't normally do, which was just take my camera and go for a walk around. And this is probably going back legitimately like 20 years ago, if not a little bit more. Now, up until this point, outside of like college or university projects, I hadn't really done anything like this. I just kind of, it always felt like a chore. And I just remember this one time coming out, being able to shoot photographs on my own and consciously shoot abstract photos. Now, it was on this pier, all right? Eisenhower Pier, which is the first time I remember consciously taking an abstract photograph. It's the first time I was like, fuck, this is something different I could do with my camera. Because like up until now, it's just bikes, right? I'd have taken abstract stuff or family stuff, and I'd shot weddings and things, but abstract photography, street photography, landscape photography, that stuff never appealed to me back then. Let's be honest, I was a little street rat with a BMX and no money and long, dirty, greasy hair. That hasn't changed, has it? None of that has really changed. That was the first time where I was like, this is kind of cool. This is where it was. I mean, if you're from Bangor, this is a really, like, we've all done it. Oh, it's so gross in here. You have to remember, I was a dirty little teenager here, right? Like a little skate street rat. I hated doing anything I was told. And it wasn't until I got in here and I looked down this view and I was like, holy shit, how cool is that? And got my camera out of my bag and took a photograph. Now, just for old memory's sake, this is the camera I was using. I still have it now. It still works. The Pentax MZ50 film camera. Actual, proper, like, film. And I don't mean like Not a Canon that I've bought off my granddad or found in an antique store. I mean, like, that is the camera that I used all the time. I traveled all over Ireland and England with that, taking BMX photographs with just that lens, just that camera and a 35 to 80mm lens. It could come off. I had no money to buy another lens, so why would I take it off? And I love that camera. And this is the photo that I took. Leading lines, cruise down there. And I think, like, it was just one of those moments. I was used to seeing all these, all right? All these wave breakers along the coast. And I was used to seeing the promenades and that. It wasn't until I got here and went down into that did I realize the importance of exploring, changing your whole perception of what you see, your angles. Anyway, I took that photograph and that was a huge turning point for me. And that was here in Bangor, where not much goes on, where I live. I spend a lot of my time. Too often we go searching for inspiration, you know, somewhere far, somewhere big, somewhere grand. And very often that inspiration just lies closer to home. When I was younger, I'd come down here with my camera and go, oh, photo, don't give a shit. And now I look for things like, you've got this pier in the outside over there, right? Which just is a pier. But then I look at things like the red of the boat hook? Nautical hook. We'll go with boat hook. And I start to look at things differently. Look at, like, using it for a frame, shooting with a long lens, shooting through, framing that dude in the background who will be gone by the time that I get my camera out of my bag. Admittedly, I should have taken them when I got up here first thing in the morning when the sun was shining and there was this beautiful sunrise, and now here we are, it's gloomy as fuck. So I just wanted to come out today with my camera, one lens, like the good old days. I mean, this time, yeah, it's a Sony A7 III and we've got an 18-105 Sony G lens on it. So we got choices and quality on our side and we don't have to develop a film. The essence of what that is still there. So I just wanted to cruise about Bangor and take a few photos. I brought this thing out when it was only half charged, which wasn't a great idea, but it's kind of what I do with everything. I definitely wasted the good light this morning, but to be honest, all I was trying to do was just trying to get that drone shot, if I'm honest. It took literally like a good 40 minutes for me to get that. Do you know that like couple of seconds you saw at the very beginning of this video that you've probably forgotten existed? Those drone shots, it's about 45 minutes for me to get. It's ridiculous. The point of doing these things is to go out and photograph a place that you're used to photographing, but try to do it slightly differently. I'm so used to photographing Bangor. I see the same stuff every time, and if I come out, I take the same photos every time, and I know what's gonna look nice, so I photograph that again and again. I'm trying to encourage myself here to just shoot things slightly differently as I eye up a photograph I've taken 100 times. I'm a sucker for symmetry. Yeah, like, I grew up shooting all my photos here. Like, I learned so much, and this is a town now where I struggle to take photographs of because I know what I've shot. But like, when I look back, that one photo in that one location was such a turning point for me in all my photography. And it didn't feel significant back then. God, I just felt like, oh, I'm in a tunnel taking a photo. But now when I look back, like, that was the moment where I realized I can do whatever I want with photography. And that's what makes it so great. All you have to do is be open-minded and willing to explore. You know, go for a walk or a wheel. Go for a one wheel. Go for a float. Doesn't sound cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you're not, hit the bell for notifications. Apparently we have to tell you to do these things. Otherwise people don't. But thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next. I'll catch you next week, next Wednesday. funny thing with vlogs is you know it's me narrating the video, so you know I have to come back to the camera. It's not like a Hollywood movie, fella. You can just drift off in the distance and everyone believes it. Remember, nothing on the internet is real. Later. It's like it's really early in the morning in Bangor. There's no one around except me and this bin lorry. They follow me. It doesn't matter where I go. They're like, ah, Dylan's there. Has he got his microphone on his camera? Must be recording audio. Send a truck down with a beep. Winding me up. They are winding me up. Not the point. Yeah, I'm not that little street. Shut up! Any more fucking gulls. What do you want?